Just get under this sunshine, get with the boys, just detach, soak up that sun, and just get better, just level up.
Hello, and welcome to the Rise Again podcast. My name is Dr. Peter Risenen, and I'm your host here at the Rise Again podcast. Now, we're on to season 2, and the thing about season 2 that's going to differentiate it from season 1 are the things that I've gone through in my life since we were doing season 1. We have recently fostered and adopted a newborn. I killed my first bull elk with my bow and arrow last fall, and I've gotten into fly fishing, as well as am now the medical director of a men's health and testosterone replacement business. This has all been majorly life-changing for me, and I'm super excited to share some of the journey with you guys through the Rise Again podcast. So I hope you guys get something out of this. If you guys love it, please rate it and review it, share it with your friends. Let's get the stuff out there. We're going to share some amazing guests, and I hope you guys really enjoy season 2 of the Rise Again podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the 76th episode of the Rise Again podcast with my good friend and professional boxer, Adam Stewart. Adam and I both sat down together in October of 2019 and recorded our initial podcast where we talked about his transformation throughout his life, his childhood upbringing. Today, we talk a lot about his getting into the pro scene, the new documentary that's put out about him from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University that's available on YouTube, and life as a dad and husband. And we talk about transformation through psychedelics and different things in his life that have really led him to being where he is today. We also talk about a very emotional experience he had with his father before his father passed away. So today's episode, guys, it's not for the dry of eyes. It's a really incredible episode. There's a lot of heartfelt emotion in this. You guys are in for a wonderful episode with Adam Stewart here on the Rise Again podcast. Yeah, so dude, I am just so excited to have you in the studio, Adam. It's just phenomenal. It's been a few years since we did episode 1, and you are moving and shaking and just talking about how I watched that documentary that was made last night. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? How did that come to be?
All right, so shoot, it's been 3 years since I've seen you. After I saw you, I took my first loss, and that was on ESPN at the MGM Grand in Vegas. It was the middle of the pandemic. I wasn't training; all the gyms were closed, and I went in there and I didn't have the gas tank. It was on a 1 week notice fight. And they gave me some false information, no excuses. They gave me some false information about the guy and the size and whatnot that I was fighting.
They said he was like 5'10", 230?
They said he was 5'7", 250 pounds.
Oh my gosh. And what was his size?
6'3", 290 pounds. Yeah, and he was the opposite stance, so southpaw. So that changes things up a little bit. So I thought he was orthodox or right-handed, but I came in, he was a lefty. So that's important to know before you fight.
Oh, dude, that's huge.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm fighting this little 5'7", little 250-pound bowling ball, and I go there, and it's a big boy, and he ends up living a Utah guy, and he owns his own gym, so he was able to train the whole time. I'm a way better fighter. I just didn't have the gas tank. I wasn't mentally there. So I lost a close decision. I got my eye split open. We clashed heads in the first round. My eye was split open. Ended up getting stitches, but I fought all through. 6 rounds. I lost a majority decision, close one. It's all good. I didn't let it beat me up too bad, but.
You were 8-0 up till that point.
I was 8-0, so now I'm 8-1. Just fought on ESPN in front of all family and friends,
it's all good,
MGM. But I was like, it's all right. I needed this. And I sat down with the wife after that, and I said, something has to change, I was like, I'm working full-time, all these kids, family man, full-time work professional. I was like, something's got to go, and the job's the only thing that can. So I worked out a deal with the wife. It said 6 months, just give me 6 months of I'm going to quit my job and go all in on boxing.
What a decision. I mean, what was that conversation like? As your brother Scott says, Kathryn's the real deal.
She doesn't mess around. Yeah, she is no joke. She's a strong, stern, solid woman.
Straight from the land of Oz.
Yeah, that's right. Kansas. I stood my ground pretty strong. I was like, I know this is what I need to do. I can always go back to this, industry of work, this AC. My youth and athleticism is not, always going to be this strong. So I got to go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to kick myself in the butt later in life. I've had uncles, that gave me, that advice because they did it for themselves for, whatever, professional sports or things in life. And they said, that's my biggest regret is throwing in the towel and not giving it my all and just giving it that last run. So kind of took that advice and I've been all in ever since. And it has been going great, man.
Amazing. So when was the all-in decision?
November 2020.
Okay.
Because I saw you October 2019.
It was either 18 or 19 even.
Yeah, 19. October, yeah. So 2020, December 2020, I quit my job and I've had 4 fights since then, since that loss, and I've won them all. Some massive knockouts. I moved up in the ranks. I think when I quit my job, I was ranked 108th in the country, and now I've been floating around from 17th to 20th in the country. #1 heavyweight in Arizona. Just fought at the Footprint Center where the Phoenix Suns play. I just fought there in February and got a massive win versus a big, strong guy. Last November, I fought my first main event at the Glendale Civic Center versus an old war horse, man. He's 11-3, good record, big guy. And I knocked him out in the first round. It was my first time I fought at the main event. That was awesome. That was huge. You guys will have to check out the video clips on that.
Dude,
yeah.
We'll be sharing all those clips. Adam's, your YouTube channel, you've got quite a few different things on there, and people are going to have to watch that 27-minute documentary, that ASU, you said Cronkite School of Journalism?
Yeah, so after my first loss, ESPN, you guys, if you haven't heard my previous podcast, kind of heard a lot of my background and where I came from and what I've been through. Just me getting that fight on ESPN at the MGM Grand in Vegas was massive. Like, that was a win in itself, even though I didn't win the fight. So the Cronkite guys, they reached out and they did just a regular article on me after that loss. They were super interested in my story. So they came back, a year later and said, hey, we have a final project and we have to do a documentary. And they said, fair game on anyone you want. And we know you're the guy we want. So they did a 26-minute documentary on me as their final project. They're seniors in college. It was leading up to that main event fight. So they followed me around for months, met my wife, my brother, my family, coaches, watched me train. And then the last thing was me walking out, being a main event fighter, and I knocked a guy out in the first round. Kind of tells about my background and whatnot. And they did a great job.
Stellar documentary. I was really excited about the way that you could actually be portrayed in such. It was a fantastically done documentary. And I was like, man, this is Adam right here. I was like, I love this, man. I was all smiles during that thing. I was like, heck yeah, this is my man right here. Why don't you kind of give some people who haven't listened to one, and I think you guys should go back to our initial interview and listen to that story, because, that initial podcast interview we did really goes through the deep. Yeah, but why don't you just run us through your timeline? You were born at 10 pounds, 9 ounces, and take us from there.
Yeah, born 10 pounds, 9 ounces. I'm the middle child. I have an older brother. He's 13 months older, and then a younger sister, about a year and a half younger. An incredible mom, a big, strong dad, and kind of just, my dad just had some demons and had a rough upbringing, and he couldn't figure it out, like the criminal lifestyle, the drugs, the violence, and he couldn't do it. So it didn't work out between my mom and my real dad. They split up. Stepdad came in the picture, had two boys. So there was a family of 5, 4 boys and 1 girl. Grew up together. We're all tough, rough, little hillbilly kids, I say, and
learn how to scrap.
Learn how to fight for sure. Big brother, he's tough and strong. And
who's that, Scott?
Yeah, Scott.
Oh yeah, Scotty.
Big worm. Yeah,
big worm. You guys played football together too, right?
Yeah, we played football in high school together. That was awesome. High school football. Yeah, he really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Jumping ahead to 8th grade. I got introduced to meth and started dabbling with that. 8th grade summer, freshman year, still doing it. And it was nasty. It was poisonous. I just looked in the mirror one day and realized that I don't want to go down the same path as, some other family members. So I looked in the mirror and I just quit cold turkey. I was still a knucklehead, still, doing other things. But I started looking up to my brother. And
you needed a father figure in your life.
I did. I needed that role model, that father figure for sure. And I guess my brother was the closest thing to that. Big, strong, athletic guy, football. And so I was like, man, I'll start working out and be like my brother and play some football. So that's what I did. Sophomore year, I put on a lot of size and got on the football team. I was still a knucklehead, still hanging out with some knuckleheads, but at least I was doing something that was, productive, and did that. I started slipping again and hanging out with the wrong crowd, and, started robbing people, started doing some drugs and, whatnot. And I ended up getting thrown in jail my entire senior year of high school for armed robbery, aggravated assault.
You were just happened to be with the guy who had the gun, right? So
yeah, he had a
charged
gun.
as well.
I had a baseball bat.
Okay.
And we kind of ran up on some guys at a party and said, give us your wallets or, we'll do something bad. So we did that, did a couple other things. It's kind of a normal thing that we did on the weekends. Like I was a knucklehead for sure. And, looking for the attention and looking just to do crazy stuff.
Well, it made you significant. You know what I mean? Think about people who, when you're looking for significance and you're looking to be noticed in life, I mean, kids will figure out how to be significant and get attention.
For sure.
Just think about, every kid needs attention and you're going to get it, whether it's positive or negative.
100%. Yeah, that's what all of our friends, it seemed like a lot of them, the ones or the wilder ones, they were the same kind of situation, without dads and whatnot, or that father figure and those strong mentors. And we were all, getting that attention. Watch how hard I can knock this guy out. Watch how crazy I can rob this guy. Like, watch what I do when I do this. And holy crap, man, he's crazy. Look how that was freaking awesome. That was crazy. And it's all bad, I'm not proud of it. That's just part of the journey. So I go away for my entire senior year, get my GED from
the School of Hard Knocks, right?
From the School of Hard Knocks. That's
actually what that diploma says, right?
It's actually the Hard Knocks High. Yeah.
Hard Knocks High.
Yeah. So,
oh my goodness.
Because it's funny, I have these uncles like, hey boy, I went to the School of Hard Knocks, and I was like, hey uncle, I actually went to the School of Hard Knocks. Here's my certificate right here.
And then you gave a speech at graduation, right? Your ceremony?
On integrity in front of Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Shook his hand. I got to eat real food for the first time in 8 months or so. And I got to see my mom in person. That was, emotional and crazy being away from my family. And yeah, it was a big turning point, just a lot of time to reflect and sit there and think about life and what do you want to do? What do you want to turn this into? You want to, keep going on this road and stay in the system, or you want to break the chain and go the opposite way? So it was a long journey for sure, and took a long time to mold that and turn that into, what I want it to be, which I'm so thankful and happy just how my life is today. But
it's amazing. I mean,
it's incredible, man.
It's just so good. I mean, even going from there, like obviously you're saying this is like the first time you really sat and thought about like your future and really like, okay, I need to change some things here. It doesn't mean that when we sit and think about things change all right away. But the wheels started turning. For sure. Just thinking about my mom, she's just such a good person. Like she deserves it. She deserves just having, a good kid or she's done such a good job with us and as best as she could for what she was dealt. For you guys. Oh, just rock solid. So got to make mom proud. Got to make her happy. Got to be something, So then you go to play football at GCC, right? After I get out, I walk on to Glendale Community College and play some football there. I only had 2 years of experience. My sophomore year and my junior year of high school, I was incarcerated my whole senior year, but I was just this big, tough guy, the chip on my shoulder. So I walked on there and thrived. It was great. I had a great role model as a coach. He was a great, father figure. Coach Jewell, Jason Jewell. He's just incredible. I'm still a great friend to this day. Big, strong guy. Type of guy that I needed that didn't put up with my shit. He knew how to get right in my face and tell me how it is. So I needed that. Helped me, tremendously. I was All-American, Glendale Community College. And then I had full ride offers to all the big schools, the LSUs, the Boise States, but wasn't the best in the classroom. So I had to go a D2 route because of a grade situation and transferring. So I got a full ride scholarship to Pittsburgh State University. It's a small town in Kansas. Great, powerhouse football school. Went out there and played some football. I was kind of met my queen. That was a culture shock, man. I was like this tough West Coast kid going to the small town in Kansas, and I didn't fit in at all. I looked a lot different. My attitude and my mentality was a lot different. The first few months there, I was a knucklehead just trying to show. I wasn't robbing people or doing drugs or anything, but I was just violent, just trying to make a name for myself, I guess, just showing who the new guy is and, putting some fear in some people and whatnot. I guess that's probably what I was thinking or doing. And I got in some trouble. I fought a lot and hurt some people and beat up some other athletes, from other sports teams in the school. And I played there for a year. And at the end of the year, the coach pulled me into his office and ended up pulling my scholarship. Told me I was a bad kid, told me I was a menace to society, and they had to get me out of the small town. So that was rough. So take us from there, right? You're a full ride. Now all of a sudden you're jobless, out of school. You met your wife there. I mean, you weren't married yet.
Yeah, she was my girl.
Kathryn.
I met Kathryn in psychology class there. So she was my girlfriend. They pulled my scholarship. I was like, man, that was like, I was really a knucklehead my first 3 months there. And then once I met her, I started calming down. Like, I already made my little reputation. People know I'm a badass or, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they pulled my scholarship and I was like, man, I got this new girlfriend. I like her a lot. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm this young kid, 21 years old. I got a job at Pizza Hut, started working for minimum wage and wasn't getting enough hours. So I switched over to a dog food warehouse, working 12-hour night shifts in a dirty old dog food plant. Or I met a man and he owned a MMA gym. And he looked at me and said, "Are you a fighter?" And I said, "Yeah, I fight on the streets." He said, "Well, I look for you redheads because you're the toughest son of bitches out there. So if you want to come check out my gym, I'd love to have you in there." Gave me his information and I started training with him, the next day. And I had my first fight, after I trained for 2 weeks in this small little MMA gym in Southeast Kansas. And 2 weeks later, I get my first fight and I knocked it out in 41 seconds.
Started it all.
That's how it all started. Yeah, 2 weeks of training. I met this, incredible, another great role model, Bob Spraggs, good father figure type guy, tough guy, type of guy I needed. He gave me a lot of confidence. He trained me. He taught me the things he knew in a short amount of time, and I was able to go out there and get my first victory, 41-second knockout. Shortly after that, I got recruited to Olympic heavyweight boxing program in Los Angeles.
Sold everything for $100.
Sold everything I had for $100.
That's just something else, right?
Yeah.
I'm just all in. I'm just letting it all go. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
What was Kathryn thinking?
I wasn't too nice about it. I just knew that this Pizza Hut job, this dog food warehouse job for $7.25 an hour wasn't cutting it. And I have an opportunity and I'm all over it. Something to use my size and the fighting. Like, this is what I've been doing my whole life. I've been fighting, I've been a warrior my whole life.
To be in a place where fighting is okay and it's good to be the guy who wins.
Getting paid for it. Yeah, you're going to put me in a fully furnished apartment. You have a maid that cleans my apartment once a week, a film crew, professional chefs, and you're giving me a monthly check. Like, holy smokes. Like, how? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gone. I gotta go make something happen,
Oh, man. So then you had a bunch of wins. You had 8 in a row then. Yeah, when you turned pro then, that kind of caught us up to where we were. So then we had the COVID hit, right? And then you had my
first loss. I had one fight. Yeah, 2020, I had one fight. That was the whole pandemic deal. Lost. Quit my job. 2021, I fought right in the beginning of 2020 down in Mexico. I got a first round knockout. And then I fought a few months after that. So I just quit my job. Bam, quit my job. New year starts. I fight 4 times that year. I get a Mexico first round knockout. I fight here in Phoenix, 6-round decision versus a tough guy. I fight the main event guy, first round knockout. And then I just fight my last fight at the Footprint Center live on DAZN, and I get a 6-round decision. And yeah, it's going great. I just had a little boy 10 months ago. So I have 2 daughters, a 5 and a 3-year-old. And then I just had a little boy. So I finally got the boy. So that was freaking awesome. Yeah.
When you say that you were 10'9", he was a big boy.
Yeah, 9 pounds, 15 ounces.
Yeah, it's pretty close to 10 pounds.
Yeah, he's a 10-pounder, right?
Oh, my goodness. And that was actually one of the things I wanted to visit about. Nothing really lights you up like talking about your kids. You're a family man. I actually want to unpack that a little bit. So think about where you came from, right? And the family that you saw and grew up in. And obviously there was a lot of good. And then there were some things that were missing, right? How did your relationship with Kathryn change from when you guys met to how did you change as a person being around her and unpack your relationship with her and how that's changed to where you guys are now? And I've talked about this quite a bit with other people, but I feel like as a guy, when you get married, you're still running in the solo mentality and you're kind of welcome to my crew and I'm going to go do my thing and welcome along for the ride. I feel like that naturally in healthy relationships, that kind of changes. And I'm just curious about how your relationship with Kathryn, how it's morphed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely morphed, I guess. I've learned and just grown so much, man. That's gonna be hard for me to kind of break down and explain. I haven't thought that deep about it. I swear that she just wakes up every single day and says, "How can I make this man's life, easier?" And I think just by her example, and really when I met her whole family, and just I looked up to and admired them so much, and just seeing just the love that they gave. And I kind of clinged onto that. And I was like, well, how can I add some of this stuff into my life? And how can I just be a better man? And I've just been on this huge, growth journey just to be better in all aspects of life. And that's, being a husband, father, athlete, just person in this world. It's constant hard work. It's constant effort that you have to put just to make it work. And there's always going to be ups and downs. It's, it's normal to have those fights and whatnot. But I don't even know, man. This is hard for me. This is a tough one for me. I just know I love my wife. I love my family. I'm so thankful for her. Like she's my queen 100%. She's the best mom in the world. She just such a hardworking, driven, rock solid morals. She's just a role model. I tell that to a lot of like younger people or other, married couples. Like my wife, she's my rock. She's such a role model. She's such a solid individual that just so pure.
She led by a lot of example, it sounds like. I could even attest to that. I mean, spending time around my wife's family, one of the reasons that I was so attracted to them was that there was something so different about the way that their family operated than ours did. And it wasn't that ours was bad, it was just different. And there was like, whoa, there's something more, And I think you were probably also attracted to her because you saw that there was a lot of growth for you there as a human being. And as a husband, like you said, you've just been on a growth journey. This is all you've been about. What else has been a big part of your growth journey, over these past years?
I train at like a real top-notch gym, Fight Ready, here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I met some of these fighters, some of these, Bellator and UFC fighters, and I got to become good friends with these guys. And they said they go out on these little hikes. And I was like, well, I love the outdoors, and you go to enjoy the water, and I like fishing and cliff jumping and doing all that. So sure, I'll come with. I went out with these guys, small, strong group, all athletes, next level guys. They said, have you ever tried psychedelics, mushrooms? Like, no, I never have. Never. Heard old stories, when you're younger and kids sitting in a dark room with some clown posters, and just I've heard bad things. And they said, well, you should, give it a little try. Life changing if you want it to be. So I tried just a little bit, I tried a little micro dose, and went on this hike with these guys, and we all kind of had we're all the same mindset. Let's be great. Let's do better. Let's be stronger. Let's lift each other up. Let's be champions. Just all had a strong mindset, and went out there and did, 8-10 mile hike, got in some cold water, got out in the elements under the sunshine, barefoot on the ground, just get in your head a little bit. And man, those mushrooms, they make you think a different way. It opens up, new neural pathways. I think in your brain, you're able to understand and get through things that you haven't been able to, in life situations, and come to peace with things, and just go through things and sit there in the outdoors with no, phones or no nothing. You're just bare feet on the ground, sitting in some cold water, looking up at the, the Red Rock Mountains in Sedona. And you really just kind of get in your head and
unpack things.
Yeah, just grow. That was a life-changing moment for me right there. And I'm forever thankful for those guys, kind of, as we can listen to certain things too and get your head in the right spot on the drive up. We're all on the same page, man. There's no judgment. There's just all love. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's just do better, be good role models, just do what's right.
Your definition of like that brotherly love, what's that definition to you of and it sounds like you were kind of describing that a little bit right there, like that accountability, like being there for each other, lack of judgment, knowing that each person's just trying to grow, and like being their support and mentor or accountability partner for that journey.
Just being straight with each other, just being honest, straightforward. If someone's slacking off or someone's looking a little down, you just don't be afraid to be straight with someone. You don't have to tell someone everything they want to hear and try to fluff things. Just a good friend is honest and just straight with you. That's a good friend. Even if you don't want to hear it, they'll hold you. I have a buddy, Dan, he'll call me out if I'm slacking at the gym a little bit, if I'm not hitting the bag as hard as I could, or not jumping roping as hard as I could, or if he's slacking a little bit, like he'll come up and say, hey, let's go. Like, you want to be the heavyweight champion of the world or what? And that's just how it is. And I appreciate it big time. Sometimes I'll push back a little bit or say something, but then I try to catch myself. You don't make excuses. Just keep your mouth shut and just put your head down and just keep grinding. He's here for, a good reason. He's letting you know for a reason. Yeah, for sure. There's nothing but love, man. These guys are incredible guys, and it's life-changing. And I keep bringing new people out on these little journeys, and these guys are having the best days of their life. I brought out a buddy last year. He came out first time with us, and all of us, same mindset, same deal. There's always a different vibe. It's always a little different stuff going on, but it's always growing and getting better. And this guy he was freaking taking Xanax, doing cocaine, drinking alcohol first thing in the morning, overweight, bad thoughts. And after one hike, this guy has lost 40 pounds. He lost 40 pounds like quick. 40 pounds, didn't touch a single drug, didn't touch a drink, and just completely changed his whole life. And he is doing so good now. It's after just one trip, one go.
There's a podcast I really enjoy listening to, an ex-Navy SEAL CIA contractor who's had his own experiences. But he hosted a podcast with Capone and his wife, and he was a Navy SEAL who was a breacher, I believe. Someone might get me on that one. But anyways, these guys are undergoing lots of blasts, concussions. They come out totally different human beings, right? They're in the military, serving our country at the front lines, behind enemy lines. These guys are doing, the tip of the spear stuff, right? They come back and the concussions and the personality changes and the suicidality and the drug abuse, maybe not drug abuse, but substance abuse, right? Alcoholism, etc. And they started this foundation and they take vets down to Mexico and they do, it's like DMEO or something like that, 5-DMEO or something like that. And then they do Ibogaine. They start with Ibogaine. Ibogaine comes from the Iboga plant. It's been used, for millennia by different, cultures and whatnot. They use Ibogaine first and the 5-MeO-DMT. And that stuff is just, you listen to these guys' experiences and talk about everything that you couldn't even imagine putting behind you and processing, being able to process all of that, put that behind you, and then finally be able to move forward and never want, I was listening to actually one this morning and they talked about Ibogaine and sometimes even psilocybin, same thing where guys will use, they'll go on a journey and these are supervised, great intentions with great people around you because the main thing is the intention around it, unpacking it all, come back, never actually have another addictive drive. They don't want to overeat. They don't have any cravings. They don't want to drink ever. Most of them have never drank ever again. No wanting to use any drugs. Been free of prescription medications. If there was a pill that did this would be like $1 trillion drug, not even billion. And you know what? It's like this stuff for some reason is off limits. It's not being allowed to be used in the normal FDA in the US. You can go down to Mexico or get some of this stuff other ways. But the thing is that, I've tried that, microdosing and psilocybin. I did that for 40 days straight, essentially 0.1 to 0.2 milligrams. Never had any out of the box experiences. All I can say is that the days were just great. I just had good days and I'm a super positive person as it is. So it's just my days were just really positive days. I think that that's something though that more people could experience that have never, because think about the amount of, from the medical perspective, the amount of people that are living lives actually intoxicated by their drugs that are used to suppress who they really are because of the negative experiences that they're having with their life, because their inability to process things and all the stuff that they went through. If they could actually just process it and get rid of all the side effects and actually live to being that potential that they have inside of them, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that? And this is what you're talking about tapping into with these guys is having that experience with psilocybin, cutting everything out, processing everything, moving in like you talked about. Tell me about the first time you came home. What did Kathryn say to you?
She said, you can go on these little spiritual journeys whenever you want. You came home a better man. You came home happier. You're just so nice and kind to me. You loved that you were so much more patient with the kids. She's you go on these spiritual journeys whenever you want. It makes you a better man.
And the thing is that for anybody who doesn't understand this stuff is way out of your system at that point. It's not like you're not tripping. You drove home. All this stuff.
3-4 hours or so. Yeah. Jumping in the water kind of, sobers you up a little bit. It calms it down. But yeah, it's just a vibrant, good feeling, little tickle in the stomach. And there's little highs and lows, little peaks, it's little high, little waves of just a feeling. And you're just able to, tap into something different and just feel a certain way and just appreciate life. I was out there yesterday with some buddies and I brought 2 new guys that's never been. My buddy Justin said this was the best day of my life. I can't wait to do this again. You have me questioning and thinking about what I do, for fun. I'm usually out at the pool, drinking booze and whatnot, but there is absolutely nothing I'd rather do. I can't wait to bring my wife out here and bring other friends out here and just do the same. Like this, you changed my life. Thank you so much. This is the best of my life. Another buddy, Morgan, said, I'll never turn you down again and deny you. I've made excuses before, but this is exactly what I need. And I said, I know it's what you needed. That's why I pushed so hard to get you out here. Just get under this sunshine, get with the boys, just detach, soak up that sun, and just get better, just level up.
You think about how many people, that even and that I know that kind of just more or less just kind of check out and just do nothing on the weekends. And just like they work during the week, they're kind of servants of their, maybe even like a boring schedule, right? They're not really growing. They even will tell you that. They're not like growing. They're just kind of like resigned. That's like probably the key word is kind of resigned to like the daily grind. And there's nothing wrong with the daily grind. But these are people who most of the time want something more than the daily grind. They're listening to podcasts, they're reading self-help books, they're wanting to go to seminars and do different things, but yet there's something that they need to help them step outside of what they've always just known as their norm, just to be able to be that better person.
Yeah.
I am really excited for you and even for the dudes that you've brought on these journeys with you. It's neat because I've seen you. Even I could say this. The first time, when was the first one that you went on?
2 years ago now.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
After our first
year
podcast.
And a half. After our first podcast, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I can even see just from sitting across from you, like the change that's come over you. You're a softer, gentler, kinder version of who you already were. And the thing is that this was inside you the whole time. I can see that just from interacting with you, I know that you've processed stuff and you've just gotten past some stuff that maybe was holding you back a little bit.
100%. That's what those hikes do for you. Yeah, so much, man. I think just adding something new, a new habit weekly, which has been massive ever since those hikes. I'm like, okay, let's get better. I'm on this better trip. I wake up in the morning, I'll do some big old belly breaths. I'll go get some sunshine first thing. I'll bring the kids outside, get sunshine. Sunshine on your skin is super important. I'll do some kind of exercise workout or a cold shower to get the adrenaline spike, within an hour of waking up. I cut out vegetable oils completely, like soy, and that has been life-changing. And now I can take I'm a red-headed, fair-skinned guy, and I can take the sun like a champ with no sunscreen or anything just because I eliminated the vegetable oils.
And that's crazy. I'm going to have to check into that.
That has been massive.
Wow.
I'll be out there for an hour under this 110 degrees, and I won't fry. I won't burn because I eliminated vegetable oils. I'm dead serious. That has been a game changer. Just eating clean, eating pure, olive oil, ghee, real butter.
Just the good stuff.
Just the good stuff. No vegetable, no canola. And it's in everything. It's in
it's in everything. Sunflower oil, grapeseed oil, canola oil.
Soy, soy makes your estrogen, raise your estrogen, just makes you soft and weak, man. And I've just been on this big kick just to make myself more pure and more better. And I feel so good. And I get the whole family on. My wife's on board. The kids, are backing off of all that stuff that, it's still a little granola bars here and there that have some junk in it, but we're grinding, we're chipping away, and it has been life-changing, man.
Why don't you tell about some of the stuff that you unpacked, some of the stuff that you dealt with, maybe that was hard on one of these or some of these journeys?
I've had quite a few deaths in these last few years since I've seen you. I've lost some real close ones. My dad was one of them. I didn't have a relationship with him, and he's always been a drug addict, in and out of prison, violent man. And I just kind of cut him out. I was like, this guy's never going to change. He's 50-something years old and he still hasn't figured it out. So I'm just cutting it out. It's bullcrap. I'm not going to deal with it. So I haven't seen that guy in 10 years. I fought this guy. When was it? It was June of last year. Tough guy, same exact 10-1. I was 10-1. He's 10-1. Man, we're fighting here. And I go over to the Celebrity Theater and start fighting this guy. And it's a tough fight, man. He's shooting some sharp, good body shots. He's just crisp. I was a little panicky, and I kind of settled in. About the fourth round, I was sitting in and I was like, hey, just calm down, to myself. And my coach was telling me this stuff, but I was like, it's really up to me, man. It's all in my head. Just calm down and just start poking that jab. You have a strong jab, just soften them up with that jab and everything will work out. So that fourth round, man, I started cracking him with the jab and I started seeing this facial expressions like, ugh, that don't feel good. Fifth round comes around doing the same thing. Bam, just keep softening them up. And I was like, oh, it's about time. So I caught this guy through a jab. Boom, caught this guy with an uppercut. Rocked his head back. His head came back down. I hit him with another uppercut and a left hook. I knocked him out cold in the fifth round. He's laying there lifeless on the ground, and I start celebrating. I yell, and I do a big old Hulk flex, to the crowd, scaring the crowd, and I lock eyes with my father. I haven't seen him in 10 years. And he had come down because the fight was tough. It was a tough fight. He'd come down yelling, come on, Adam, you can do this. And right then, I knocked the guy out cold, and I locked eyes with him. And I was just like, holy shit. And I moved my head over, just like, to the next section, and I kept celebrating. I was like, damn, that was, celebrate. They raised my hand, and I go in the back, and my wife runs down there, and I said, holy shit, I just saw my dad. I'm so high up on my horse. I'm so happy I just had this massive victory. I was like, everyone's telling me, don't, Adam, don't even waste your energy. Don't waste your time. He's no good. You just stay away. Don't even talk to him. It's not worth it. But something inside me said, man, just show the guy love. I was too high up on my horse, man. I was feeling so good, that high after a massive dominant victory like that. I was like, I'm not listening. I don't care what anyone says. I'm just going to do whatever I feel I'm going to do. So I'm shaking hands, kissing babies, doing all the stuff, after the fight, meeting and greeting all the friends and family and fans. And there he is standing there, big old dad.
What's his name?
Todd. Big old Todd standing there. And I walked up to him, gave him a big old hug and talked to him. Me and my brother, we ended up going outside. We talked to him for a couple hours. It was good. It was also sad because he was still on the same, you can just tell the way that he thought and his mindset was still the same. But I just showed the guy love. And I tried to give him some little tips and pointers and just some things that's helped me in my life. I've been able to figure out, going on the similar road that he has. My brother didn't show too much love, and he kicks himself for it now. But I showed love. I showed him love. I was nice to him, and I was just like, that's fine. It's too damn bad that you can't figure it out. And these demons are so fucking strong that
you're not responsible for him, right? You're responsible for yourself. I understand your brother's situation too. He was upset, right?
Yeah.
Because of what he'd missed out on.
That's been me for the last 10 years though. And they've always accepted him and they've been closer to him and still talk to him. I haven't. I've always been the one, but.
So this was a huge shift.
Huge. And I was like, I'm just going to show the guy love. That's what he needs. Maybe he just needs some love. He just needs his son just to give him a big old hug and love you, Dad. It's good to see you. Wow. And a month after that, we get a call from the ICU that he's on life support. They found him behind a Hilton, laying face down. I guess the people, he was living homeless out of a truck. He had a truck with a trailer on the back of it full of a bunch of crap. Like he was moving. He was living on the streets and there's an old beat up truck. Looks like it's freaking hot wired when we go get there and see the truck. It was like just a mess, just a crazy lifestyle that he lives. But he was, it was the hottest day of the summer, like 117 degrees, and the truck broke down. He couldn't start it. He's walking back and forth, people asking people to help me, would give me a jump, give me this and that. He's high on drugs too, of course, but walking back and forth, stumbling, and then he starts nosediving, boom, just crashing. He gets up and boom, crashing, and they think he's just hammered, just a drunk guy living out of his vehicle. And the people at the Hilton, they finally they come out and check on him, like, sir, and he's just laying there. They call the EMS and they show up and he's 108 degrees. They start doing a cooling process on him and they take him into the ICU there. And then they call his next of kin, me and my brother. And fuck.
It's emotional, dude.
It is.
He's still your dad, though.
They call us and we go down there and we see this big ass laying in that hospital bed. And they're like, we've cooled him down and now we're letting him just get back to normal temperature. And we got to let him sit at normal temperature for 24 hours. And if he doesn't respond, then he's brain dead. There's nothing we can do. But if he does, when we take all these tubes and this stuff out, if he responds, then he's most likely going to be a vegetable. And you guys have a tough decision to make. 10 o'clock comes around. Me and my brother sit there fucking squeezing his hand and fucking pinching him and stuff. Like, come on, motherfucker, wake up. Like, come on, dude, wake up. Grabbing his fingernail, fucking squeezing it. Like, react, move your fucking eyes, do something. Did nothing, man. It was tough. It was fucking tough. And then, fucking said a prayer. Took a fucking picture of him just to see his all his imperfections, man. He just has a rough fucking life. Scarred up, fucking broken sideways fingers, scars all over his body. And I was like, that's what a picture of. And 10 o'clock at night, I'm sitting with my brother at his house, and they call us and said he's fucking dead, brain dead, 100%. Nothing we could do. So that was it. I was glad that I showed him love, man. Feel bad for my brother that he did, but what can you do?
You forgave him for
his brain. I was kind of happy. His brain finally shut off. His brain was fucking. It was fucked, man. He had a rough life. And it finally all shut off. So like, maybe that's how it's supposed to be, you know? Yeah.
Forgiveness isn't for the dead, it's for the living, right? That's a beautiful thing that you were able to show him that love after that fight and he was there. I mean, if there was a way to conclude your experiences with him, not the part of being in the hospital room next to him, with him not being there, but to have one last living experience with him, how much better than to him be at a win.
A win, a vicious, the best knockout I've ever had in my entire life.
To have him yelling there, supporting you, loving on you the best he could, right? At that point. I mean, what are the possibilities he's going to get back into your life? It's pretty non-existent at that point, right? But the fact that you could show him love and just to be there for him at the end, I mean, maybe that was the last thing that he really wanted, was to hear love from you guys. He needed it.
Yeah. See his boys.
Think about who lived him in these last years.
No.
Anybody.
No one.
But you did.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a rough one, man. I was at peace though. I was at peace with it. It's the first time we really talked about it. But yeah, I was at peace with just how it all ended. And yeah, that's life, man. It can be a motherfucker sometimes.
From what you experienced, there's like the hero's journey. And like you go on this journey and there's all this learning and you're set back and you have a victory and then there's huge setbacks and you're just kind of growing the whole time. You almost like completed that circle with your dad. In the end, loving him, forgiving him, and being able to move past that. Because think about it, if that doesn't happen, you know, you're resentful or whatever else. And definition of resentment in my book is like drinking poison and hoping that the other person dies.
Oh yeah.
You're the one drinking it, but you're hoping that they die. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? It can be human nature too. But here you forgave him, you moved on, and you could love him for who he is, with all of his faults, with his busted fingers, with everything twisted off to the side, and him laying in that bed, and you could love him as he was. I just think about what kind of a life and what kind of a dad you can be, and how did that change your relationship with your kids and you coming home from something like that?
Man, they're the most precious, sweet things in the whole world. It's life-changing, man. It'll change your whole world, the way you think, the way you view the world. It's just the most satisfying, most incredible thing in the whole world is these little precious kids that are just little micro minis, you know? It is, I don't even have words, man. It is the most beautiful, amazing thing in the world. These kids are so damn precious, and I just want to give them the best life, raise them good, just make them good people in this world to make the world a better place. And I think that me and my wife are doing a great job at it. You know, it's awesome. 3 kids, great, you know, 2 great parents that are strong and just on this growth journey and just, oh man.
They're watching you.
They are everything, every little move we make, and their little characters are so much different. They're all just so unique and precious, man. It's something special.
I think about kids and I think about them being on loan from God, and it's your job to help raise them the best you can. They're his kids, you know?
For sure.
When you think about kids, like, what are your thoughts on how, and this is just, there's no right or wrong answer. This is just, what are your feelings on, like, how do you feel like a father should raise their children? You know, from your perspective, raising kids, like, what are some of the things that Kathryn says you're just the goofy, fun-loving dad who's just like, the kids love it. They eat it up, right? You're just a goofball.
Yeah, I'm the bucking bronco. We're doing body slams on the bed. We're shooting bows and arrows in the backyard. We're doing workouts to earn TV time. It's hard because I guess that's why it's so important to have both a mom and a dad. That's why it's so important, because someone can, you know, kind of let a little loose, and someone's got to crack the whip. But that's my wife, you know, she cracks the whip. She's the stern one that she said the other day. She's like, "You're freaking soft, man." She's like, "But I just got to show these kids love, man. That's what I want. That's what I need. I just love, and let's just have a good time and be a big old kid with them." I'm still strict with them, and I'm not just letting them just run all over me and. I'm not wrapped around their finger. I love them. They're precious, but we're still, you know, teaching them lessons in life and making them earn stuff and teaching them hard work, not letting them be manipulative or, you know, things like that. So I think it's just a great team where we kind of just see where each other kind of what, you know, this one brings and what that one doesn't, and what's important.
I got a buddy I'd like to connect you guys with. You guys need to, when the kids are a little bit older or whatever, you guys get a babysitter. It'd be fun to do a marriage retreat together. So you guys could really focus on each other, your relationship together, how you want to grow together, and on each other's where each other wants to go and where you feel like you're at, and all that whole. They do weekend marriage retreats.
Oh wow, that's awesome,
So,
man. Yeah, I would
yeah.
love that. That was life changing. Is our honeymoon, and that was the first time I've been out of the country, and that was life changing. So we definitely need something like that for sure, just to keep it exciting, and go just be alone with each other. That would be huge. That'd be cool. I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah, no, you'd love it. I think we'd like to be on the same one. It'd be really fun.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
We've got our little boy, we adopted back in February, and he's just the light of our lives, man. I couldn't even imagine life without him. He's just like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's amazing. We have so much fun. My wife went for 5 days to the Oregon coast with her cousin and some of her sisters. And they just because everyone needs a break, and she got her break, and I was just home with them. And we just did, the fun we had over 5 days of just like father-son time, like the bonding and the play, the roughhousing, the water time, the sneaking off to Dairy Queen to go get some ice cream, everything we did, it was like, he was so in.
Man, just listening to you say this, man, it's so exciting. I'm just like, oh, I just feel like, that one-on-one time, that alone time, like, it's just us, we're doing it our way, let's go. It's so important.
And I think about the epidemic in America is the fatherlessness. And think about how if we can do anything as human beings to make the world a better place, it's to be the best dad that we can be right now for our family.
Right now, right, yeah.
We can't fix the past. We have enough work on ourselves, right? Let alone try to fix anybody else. And who are we to try to fix somebody else, right? That's the biggest piece that any man can do for his community, is at that level of one-on-one interaction with your child.
100%. Lead by example, just raise these kids, man. Just have some damn morals, man. It's a tough world we live in. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. We just got to do what's right in front of us. It's scary, but we can't live in fear. We just got to do the best that we can do and be good role models and be honest, hardworking people. Lead by example, and don't be afraid to speak up. You're a good one, man. Yeah, pay it forward. Make the world a better place. We need it,
Yeah, we do.
I see a big shift, though, a big change coming for sure. I see a lot of good guys stepping up, and I can feel it, man. I can feel it. I'm really excited about that.
The neat thing is that that optimism, I have that feeling too about it's a great feeling to have, because I feel like with all the upheaval and craziness that is happening, there is a bunch of men who are getting their wits about them, realizing what's going on. And I told you before the podcast, I'm writing a book right now. It should be out by the end of the year. It's on masculinity. And I'm not the authority on masculinity, but I will say that I'm just as much of an authority as other people are on this from certain perspectives, on the mental and emotional aspect of it. You've got fixing the past piece, because a lot of guys have daddy issues or mommy issues, and that carries with them for the rest of their life unless they take care of it. And it will impact how positively or negatively they can be the man that they're supposed to be. There's these various components of it. Training. Are you doing mental and physical training? Mentally and physically, if you're not pushing yourself or you're not growing there, that's not what a man would do. It's not about how to be a bigger prick or how to be, pardon my words, maybe hard ass or something like that. It's about how to be a better man that allows everyone around them to thrive.
For sure.
And to be a good dad. All this tied together, I feel like there's never been a better time in our culture for us to sit down around these topics, sit around the campfire, so to speak, right? And to actually have these talks about what is a man? What does it take to be a good man for other people? And mentorship. You talked about the mentors you have in your life. Why it's such a fitting time in bringing this up is you've undergone huge transformations in your life. Huge. Physically, mentally, spiritually. And you've done so much past work. Completed some of this past stuff, and we both admit, and you've admitted to me, that the daddy issue stuff will haul with you, and you forgave your dad, and now you're in that process of of moving past all that.
100%. Huge weight off my shoulders. As soon as I did that, I was like, wow, all right, that was it.
You don't even did you realize how big of a weight it actually had on you till you let it off?
No, but once, I didn't. I knew it was, and I was like, there's a lot of questions and anger and stuff I have in there, but just after that night, it was just a massive weight off my shoulders. And even when he passed, I was just like, I'm at peace with how it all went and how it ended and how the last interaction was, man.
It's an interesting thing. It was a comment I heard about not only the fatherlessness piece, but I would say that even women who get divorced and they have kids and the kids are with the mothers, what actually impacts men just as much as not having a dad present is having a mom present who speaks negatively about the dad all the time. Because the kid, that's half of the child, right? The child was born by the mother and the father. Okay, it has their seed. So if the boy is hearing constantly that your dad was a prick, he was manipulative, he stole, he this, he was scum of the earth, blah, 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 blah. What the boy ends up growing up with is hearing and believing that half of him is just as flawed as the father who the mother is talking about.
Yeah, I agree. That's not good at all. Yeah. I can't think of, the times that my mom did. I just realized it myself, through the prison letters and whatnot and how the things he would say and the times that he was out and he would pick us up and the things that he would take us to do. But yeah, that has a massive, for sure. And that's a super normal thing that the moms, like mom has the kids and she's just bad talking to dad the whole time. And that,
I mean, psychologically, she feels better about herself because she can say something, it's easier to tear down other buildings around you rather than to build your building higher, right? So I think the focus should be on ourselves, what we can do for ourselves, and to not focus on the people around us it's in our human nature to a certain extent, but to instead of tearing down other people, to just instead work on ourselves and to keep growing as the human being that we can be.
That's what I love about the group I'm in, man. I have family members, I have friends, and they don't know how to sit around and just have a conversation. All they know to do is create drama and talk crap about other people. Like, this is really, every time I'm with you, I'm next to you, that's all you do is badmouth other people. Like, what the heck is this? I'm not gonna come around anymore. It's sick. I'm like,
but you had that mindset shift. Before that, you just kind of feel like this is all there is.
Oh yeah, drama, something to talk about. This guy did something crazy or stupid, and let's talk bad about him. Yeah, no, that's not how it should be, man. Yeah.
It's amazing because of the hero's journey you've been on, and there's actually a book. I think Dan Millman wrote the book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, maybe, or something like that. I can't remember the name of the book. And then he wrote another book called The Four Meanings of Life. I think it was something like that. Anyways, the whole hero's journey piece is like it's interesting. If you look at it, you can plot yourself on it and be like, oh my goodness. And I can just see from all that you've gone through that you're completing that journey. To, wrap things up, what do you got coming up as far as you got any hunts coming up?
Just over-the-counter archery, deer starts in next month, August, right? August 20th, I think it starts. I had a fight. I've had a couple injuries this year, a couple little bumps in the road, but, that's not going to slow me down or stop me. I had a fight at the end of this month, July 30th, but I hurt my back in training, so I missed a few weeks, so I had to cancel that. But I'm hoping to fight late August or early September. That's what I'm training for. I just got back in the gym, got through my injury, and I told my strength coach, I said, hey, prepare me for 10 rounds. I'm feeling a big call or just a big fight coming up soon. That's what I'm shooting for, is a fight, late August, early September. Hopefully get out there and get to fling some arrows at some deer August, September, if that all works out, depending on if a fight comes up. But I got some buddies with some elk hunts, so just tag along with them and just enjoy the great outdoors, get out there and up in the pines.
That's beautiful. They got bull tags?
Bull tags, yeah.
Yeah, I got a cow tag this year, so
nice.
Just to fill the freezer with meat if
Yes,
I can get the clean shot off. So yeah. Anything that you guys need right now? Do you have sponsorship needs? You have any other needs like that as far as for being the pro fighter that you are?
Definitely. I quit my job, 2 years ago now. I've been blessed, with some great sponsorships, some families, farmers, Bell Road Toyota, Lithium Motors, Kavasutra. I've had some great ones, but it's like kind of per fight. It's how we've worked our deal out. And I've only fought one time this year, so that's been a little rough. But yeah, I'm always looking to, support good brands for sure. I don't get behind, I won't get behind like
You're picky.
I'm picky. I know I kind of shoot myself in the foot about that, but that's what I believe in. I'm not going to go, if I don't drink, energy drinks and stuff, I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to go just get sponsored by a soda pop company, because I think that stuff's all poison and trash. So if you're something solid that makes the world a better place, then yeah, I'm all about it for sure. Right. Yeah, we can work out a deal. So
what are sponsorship packages that guys even get? I mean, well, let's just talk about it. Kind of take away the surprise and shock from what does a typical sponsorship look like?
I give them tickets, a few tickets to my fight, 2 to 4 tickets to my fights, depending on the level of sponsorship. They'll get a signed boxing glove and a display case from me. They get social media shout outs. I have like a sponsored tab in my social media, so it's always there. Like, I'll go into there and I'll talk, or we'll take pictures and whatnot, and I'll let people know, support these guys and support, their local heavyweight. What else? Yeah, social media. They'll get clothing, T-shirts, tickets to the fights, a boxing glove, and then I'll wear their name on my trunks when I fight.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have a big logo on my trunks or my robe or something like that when I fight. So that's how it's been so far. And it's been great. Super, super thankful for all the people that sponsor me. Buddies, small, AC companies, Maximum Comfort and Kava Sutra, like a Kava drink place. Belroad Toyota's been huge, Battleborn, my company.
Yeah. Talk about Battleborn a little bit. So what's the future with Battleborn here? And we got to share a link so that people can get on there. And you selling merch right now?
I'm selling merch. Yeah, we have we're like t-shirts, shorts, hats, little trinkets here and there stuff. But Battleborn, me and a good buddy Justin, we started this company 2 years ago now. Yeah, I think this month has been 2 years. Everyone in life, deals with battles. No matter what the battle is, we're like, hey, let's be a positive little company and start a little family, a little crew, a little team. Just positive, no judgment. We've all have different battles in life, big, small, whatever. Let's just start a little community, a family, a clothing line, and we're all patriotic. We're proud Americans, so it's a lot of red, white, and blue, cool stuff like that.
Your favorite colors, right? Red, white, and blue?
That's my kids. Yeah, I tell them. So, what's your favorite color? Red, white, blue, Dad. Yeah.
So your shirt, you got shirts. What else do you guys sell?
Hats. Yeah, we have hats, gym shorts, little things, beard combs, keychains. Beanies. Yeah, so just a little apparel at battleborn.com, but it's BATTL3BORN.com. So battle with a 3 born.com. We're making some big moves. I'm talking to a good buddy in Chicago. He's like one of the top marketing guys in Chicago. He's helping us out. We're really going to push this because we've kept it just between our little friend group, just kind of learning the ropes and going through taxes and just figuring that stuff out. We've kept it real small in our friend group, but we're ready to expand this bad boy and make a little impact. So yeah, we got a game plan together and we're going to start making some moves. So we just released a couple new shirts and shorts. Yeah, check it out. It's good stuff.
I got to get on there and order myself some swag and a hat and everything like that. I'm a hat guy. I have probably like 30 hats at home. My wife's like, what do you do with all these hats? Most of them are in a container. Yeah. And I just have like 3 or 4 hanging at any given time and I just kind of swap between them. But definitely need a Battleborn hat and shirt to be rocking, at least on the range. Come on, the archery range. So.
Yeah, we got the camo hats. We got the American flag hats. Yeah, all the good stuff.
Sweet. Our next date's going to be on the range. You and I are going to get out there and go shoot some arrows. Let's do that. Actually, it'd be fun to get out and do some archery, some over-the-counter deer stuff. That'd be fun. What units are you going to, just 21?
21. I usually go 21 or I'll shoot over to Mayer, Prescott. Yeah.
A little cooler.
Maybe 6A. I got a buddy that's always camping at 6A. He knows that one pretty good. So yeah, just kind of jump around, bring the kids with, do some little road hunt, a little road scouting, That's always fun for them. They get binoculars out and look through and yeah, that's fun. That's good stuff, man.
So fun sitting down with you, brother, and unpacking some of this. And thank you for sharing everything that you did. I love the friendship that we have, and you're a man I look up to, and I appreciate you very much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I love you, brother.
You guys, I hope you really enjoyed that episode with Adam. He is such an incredible person. He's undergone such significant transformations in his life to be where he is right now. You guys would be doing yourself a disservice if you did not get onto YouTube and watch his video about his career, getting to where he is right now, and get on his website, Battleborn. It's spelled BATTL and then number 3, Born, BORN.com. They sell swag on there. He's got shirts, hats, and different things like their hoodies, tanks, decals, all kinds of cool stuff on there. So Adam, I'm sure he's going to be writing a book at some point, but really hit him up on social media, send him an email, reach out to him, just let him know what an inspiration he is. And if you're looking for sponsorship opportunities with Adam, reach out to him and let him know as much. Put you guys in touch. If you guys have any questions about anything on the show, please feel free to reach out to me, peterkraisinen@gmail.com. My email's in the show notes. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Rise Again podcast. Hey, thanks for listening to the Rise Again podcast. Great episode, hey? You know what? I really love interviewing people and I love getting people on who have things to share with the world. So if you have a really cool guest that you'd like to get on the podcast, email me and I will do my best to get them on the show. I hope you guys have a phenomenal week and stay tuned for the next episode of the Rise Again podcast.